Oh, you're starting now. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we want to welcome you all to the Hello LLC. If you don't know, Hello stands for Helping Entrepreneurs Leverage Leading Web3 Optimizations. And we are fully in the Metaverse, in the Hello Plaza. And we encourage you to come and join us in the Metaverse, where you can be a part of this amazing event yourself. And you can come and join the conversation. We have an amazing guest that's going to be joining us, as you can see, already in the middle with us. But with that being said, just to recap on this week and what we discussed and how we discussed, of Hack the Future, where we talked about forging the future and being preventative with your 2025, strategy. And so, Love, what would you have to share on that?
Well, hello, beautiful people. Happy Thursday. It is a gorgeous Thursday wherever you are, because you are above ground today, and that's always a beautiful day. So we talked about planning for 2025. Guys, my 2 cents about that always comes out of that is, do not wait till January to start your planning. You should have already had it done. It should have been done before Halloween, but don't live in regret, because that's not the vibration that we live in. So get it done now, set down now, ask yourself questions, find out what you did this year versus what you want to do next year. Get some goals in place, and have that tangible evidence in front of you. That writing it down, I don't think people understand that writing things down has an actual scientific effect. And it will, by you physically writing things onto paper, by hand writing it, it allows you to connect, and it also allows your subconscious to get with it, to kind of imprint your subconscious would be a good way to explain that. And then what happens, and people don't realize, that when you're at sleep at night, your body, your subconscious is at work. Not only is it doing its cleaning of all of your systems and everything and getting everything refreshed for the next day, your subconscious is also going, okay, what is it that we're trying to figure out on a conscious level? Oh yeah, these are the goals that we have. So we have to put systems and things in place. And so you have to understand how powerful you are as a machine, and be able to work through that and get everything done, and be real with yourself when you do that. So that was kind of what we talked about when we were sharing our amazing conversation on Tuesday about your 2025 planning. Take action now. Be honest and real with yourself, and write that down, because of the subconscious value of it going to work and being a helper with that. So, Mr. Jones, what did you take from that day?
Well, the great thing about it is that we share with people, is that you have to be preventative, not just in your business, but just overall life, and being upfront and honest with yourself, and knowing where you're at right now. You can't plan for the future if you don't know where the starting line is. And a lot of the times we lie to ourselves about where we're at right now. And one of the, great quotes that we shared earlier this week was, don't be afraid of fear. Be afraid of being in the same place that you're in this year, next year, or that you were last year, and you're in the same place you are. And so often we allow our fear, right? False evidence appearing real. And I share with people that it's focused energy arranged to react. And really, what are you focused on? Is your energy positive? Is it negative? Right? How are you arranging that? And then how are you actually reacting? Because a lot of the times are reacting in life and not responding in life, and understanding that fear, comes with failure, and failure comes with learning or gaining. And so it's really having a better relationship with failure, having a better relationship with risk. And a lot of the times we don't have a good relationship with it, which is why we don't plan. Because if we plan and we fail, we then consider calling ourselves failure. And you're not a failure in life. You just didn't do too well at that. And it was 9 times out of 10 because you didn't plan it well enough, and or you weren't consistent, and you weren't committed to doing towards that goal. And that's why we share with people, you have to be aware of your surroundings. You have to be aware of the story you tell yourself. You have to be aware of the standards that you set, that then put in place the sacrifices, that's where that self-discipline comes all into place. And so as we talked about, this year and being preventative, we had a great conversation with one of our clients earlier, and they really shed some light on some things that we really want to be clearer on, and how and what we do to really create these experiences for people, and for them not to get all tied up and wrapped around the axle of how we do it. Just know that it can be done. And Tara had an amazing analogy that she shared earlier. Love, I would love for you to share that analogy about what we do. Or should we show them our AI video and then let you take over? Which one?
Either one. Let's jump to the AI video, and then we'll jump into the sharing a little more in depth.
Okay, we can do that. Here we go.
Sick of wasting time? Exhausted from managing chaos instead of running your business? Do you feel like your business is running you instead? Say goodbye to the chaos and say hello to a smart link that saves you time. Introducing the Biz in a Box.
With the Biz in a Box, you're not just implementing AI and upgrading your website. You are actually unlocking an all-in-one smart link that revolutionizes your foundation and systems while showcasing, marketing, and managing your business. Say goodbye to juggling endless tools, chaos, and outdated business cards. With our one app, one tap system, clients can access your products, services, and resources instantly via your link and QR code.
Just imagine everything your audience needs, beautifully and strategically presented in one seamless hub, designed to save you time, streamline your workflows, keep your audience engaged, and making your life easier. This is the future of business, built for forward-thinking entrepreneurs that are serious about growth and creating a solid foundation with systems that work today and pivot you into the future as Web3 approaches.
Stop living in the past. End the chaos and be the boss. Step into the future with the Biz in a Box. The future is already here.
And boom, ladies and gentlemen, that is our Biz in a Box. More than a website, it is a smart link into an experience into your business. And literally, when we talk about our Biz in a Box, it's something more than what most people, think about. And Love, I know you had a great analogy, so go ahead, share that with the people.
Absolutely. So first of all, what a lot of times we're sharing things and information from a standpoint of what we see that it solves. But in reality, how many of you walk into your house and you set your keys down in one spot, your purse gets set somewhere else, or your wallet gets set down somewhere else, your sunglasses, you take your shoes off. And as we just go through the house, we're just setting things down as we walk through. Some of us might have a little area that we set a couple of items, but then go on and set the rest of our items or change clothes and whatnot. And so we just kind of got things spread out all over our house. And that's very much like our business. How many times are you like, oh, well, email me here, but you can go check out my website over here, or you can connect with me on my social media accounts over here, and you just have things kind of all over. Now, there's nothing wrong with it, but it creates a little bit of havoc for yourself and for your clients when they're coming to learn more about you. And our Business in Box, which is really a smart link that is a gateway to an experience, allows you to collect all of those items that you have strung out through all of your house, aka your business, and be able to put it into one spot. And then from that point, you can it's like having a little, robot gather all of your keys and your sunglasses and your water bottle and your purse and your bag and your laptop and everything that you need to walk out the door to go to your gateway of experience of your world of the day, whether you're headed to an office, you're headed to, a conference, an event, a meeting, the grocery store, whatever you're doing as you leave your house, but you need those essential items with you. And our Business in a Box, which is a smart link, which is your gateway to an experience, allows you to put everything in one spot. You walk out the door, send everybody to your one link. Like for us, we send everybody to thehellowllc.io. And in that one link, you can get everything you need, our social media, our products, our services, book calls with us, be able to check out our calendar so you can get on there, be able to ask questions, come into our metaverse. That is where it becomes a gateway to an experience. And I'll pass this over to Mr. Jones because he has, had a great follow-up behind that, where when we enter that gateway of experience and what to expect. Mr. Jones?
Yeah, and the great thing about it is that, prime example, when you go to an event and you go and showcase, your business card, which is something that we definitely get rid of, is now you get to showcase a QR code that everybody is familiar with of how to be able to, scan the QR code. And now you have all your information. You still don't have to worry about having that digital card, because still you got to worry about grabbing the card. You got to worry about carrying all that stuff. And a lot of times you don't want to carry it, where you're already carrying your phone. Why have something extra when you can have a QR code on your phone, and you're creating a better experience where you can get people connected with you utilizing your social media? Because on your smart link, it has connections to all of your social media. So therefore you can connect with people on different platforms, which is why we share with people. This is literally a gateway to your actual, business. It's a gateway if you do want to interact and implement this Web3 metaverse immersive experience that you can create however you see it. You don't have to have Christmas trees. You don't have to have the snow. You don't have to have the golf carts driving around. You don't have to have none of this. But this is definitely better than Zoom. And showing up on Zoom, especially understanding that we talk facts, not feelings, that you're going to engage. You're going to get 50% more engagement from utilizing this 3D immersive experience. And so, that's really where we want to be able to talk about this. And we're going to talk deeper into this, especially as we move into the new year. But, as we talked about on Wednesday, embracing your worth and release the self-limiting beliefs. And that's something that we really talked about, is really being able to not reflect, on the past, and really not or should I say not regret about the past, but reflect on, what you've told yourself, and the generational curses and the generational learning things that give us that self-limiting belief. As I shared with people, my father told me, when I was acting up in school and my grades weren't good, he took me to the bad part of town. And he told me, you never going to be nothing. You're going to be homeless. You're going to be just like these people. And for my life, I've lived that way, right? Until I was able to look myself in the mirror and be like, hey, that's not who you are. You are this amazing individual that's intelligent, that's smart, that's all of these things. And a lot of the times we all have this story that has happened to us in our past, not making my dad right or wrong. He just wanted the best for me. But as the age from, 6 to 12, we are so influential, and we believe anything and everything, and we carry that on. And that's literally, just a notch in the story that we just continue to build off of as we're little kids. And so, this is where I was able to break down that barrier and start believing in myself. And as we share with people, you have to release these generational curses, right? In order to lose them from your body. Because once you release it from your mind, you will lose it from your experience. You'll lose it from your reaction. You'll lose it, your energy and your vibration of how you show up. And so that's really, what we want to focus on. So that's what I got. You got anything, love? I know that was a little long.
No, I just think it's wonderful information. And that's where, again, where we talked about from not only from the planning that we did in 2025, which you touched on right there, of having that real conversation with yourself, and also identifying as you're making that pivot in your business through 2025 to make sure, we're going to always call it, make sure you're getting your systems and your processes in place, but in real terms that people understand. It's stop having your keys, your wallet, your purse, everything else, sunglasses, shoes, strung all through the house, and be able to get all that organized so that way when you're ready to hit the door, your AKA your gateway to your world, and head on out the door, that's where that business in a box falls in. And like you shared, is really just being real with ourselves, like you were talking about in the lesson that you learned from your childhood. And so, it was a great conversation. If you missed it, you can absolutely catch it in our metaverse, thehellollc.io. You can jump in there, tap that Hello Plaza button. It'll take you right in there. Guys, you can do that also by your phone, by your iPad, and or by your computer. You do not need VR headsets to check out virtual reality. You can get in there from your phone. So that's the cool thing about it. But as we pivot to Tuesday, we had a great conversation on Tuesday that we talked about, that was really around the self-worth aspect. And
You mean Wednesday, love?
Blasting
You mean Wednesday?
those limiting beliefs away. It was understanding that at the end of the day, those limiting beliefs are not helping you, and how to identify them and how to be able to get in front of them and change that, so that way you are not carrying that into 2025. This goes hand in hand with that conversation we had on Tuesday and understanding that. But Mr. Jones, what more do you want to add on that self-limiting belief conversation we had on Tuesday?
On Wednesday,
I'm sorry,
Wednesday. Brain
Wednesday.
candy. It's okay. It's okay. Nothing really. Just I would love for you guys to all, do not forget that tomorrow we have our amazing Santa Got Wi-Fi, and meet us in the Metaverse tomorrow for our event at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can bring your kids, you can bring yourself, come join us in Metaverse. You're literally going to be able to talk to Santa. We're going to have the AI bot on where your kids can tell Santa what it wants for Christmas. Santa's going to talk back to them and, come take pictures. Everybody's looking for a new eventful way to send, holiday pictures. What better picture could you get than being in the Metaverse in your avatars and, literally being able to showcase yourself in a completely different way. Don't got to go buy outfits. Don't got to go buy makeup. Don't got to worry about camera. None of that. Just come in here and snap the picture and off you go. And so, definitely come and join us tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. And then don't forget about our Phil and Frosty business bundle sales that we have going from our Hello Plaza events, where you can come and host your own event in our Hello Plaza, or our amazing gift cards where you can get your gift cards. You buy a $50 gift card, it's worth $100. You buy a $100 gift card, it's worth $200. A $500, $750. A $1,000 gift card, $500. You're right, $1,500 on that gift card. And so no other better gift to give somebody that needs help with their business, needs help with their social media, needs help just, helping them overall and getting and bouncing ideas off of, because you're great at doing whatever you're doing, but you're definitely not great at the transaction piece or creating that experience. And just having a conversation with several of our clients that you'll hear from here in a little bit, we bring, the game to your business and really help you understand some things that you probably would have never thought of. But once we mention them, it's like, oh, that makes perfect sense. And so, definitely take advantage of that, including our Biz in a Box that has an additional discount off of that on both of our packages. But, I'm excited for our Click to Clients Masterclass that we have coming up on January 18th that you guys need to get your ticket for right now, or be a part of our Pivot membership, where we're going to be sharing with you an AI tool that will help you with lead generation. I'm tired of getting, slammed in my face, not having time, coming up with excuses why I'm not building my business. Now we're going to be able to show you how you can let AI do it and show you exactly step by steps. And so definitely join that masterclass. But without further ado, love, I think we're ready to introduce our newest guest. What do you say?
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, the whole reason why you're here today is not just to talk to David and I. Just kidding. We know you love us too, but we know you guys are here to see our amazing guest today, that we have Miss Christine Bailey with us. Miss Christine is a devoted wife, an amazing mother, and a cancer survivor. She is a beacon of the unshakable faith. As a Christian author, she shares her inspiring journey, highlighting the power of prayer, healing, and resilience. Christine's mission is to guide others towards peace and courage and remind us that God's grace is always present. She is an amazing author that is here today to share her story, guys. Please welcome on in Miss Christine Bailey. And further ado, we're going to check out her AI video that shares more about her. Mr. Jones, take it away.
I'm Christine Bailey, a wife, mother, cancer survivor, and a woman of unshakable faith. My journey hasn't been easy, but it's made me who I am today. Through life's toughest battles, I found strength in God's love and His amazing grace. That's why I've written, No God, No Peace. No God, No Peace. And Mustard Seed Faith. To Unshakable Faith. Books inspired by my personal testimony to help you find peace, resilience, and unwavering faith. Are you ready to embrace the life God has for you? Let's walk this journey together. Visit theunshakablefaith.com and start your journey to faith and strength today.
Yeah. So, Miss Christine, we welcome you to the Hello Plaza and Metaverse, ma'am. Is there anything that we missed or that your AI didn't talk about that you would like to share with the people, ma'am?
Well, thank you guys, David and Tara, for having me on today. It really means a lot. Uh, One of the things that you guys did miss, and I don't think a lot of people do know, 2025, I will be podcasting in 2025. So I'm looking forward to doing that, being able to podcast from my home, wanting to share more about the goodness of God and what He has done for me and everything that He has brought me through.
I love it.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, baby.
Well, I absolutely love it. I didn't want to be speaking over the top of you, Mr. Jones, but that's exciting news, Miss Bailey. You know, I'm excited for you to be able to get your story out, because your story is someone else's glory and roadmap to be able to get to their glory. You know, you being able to share your story is going to be able to impact many, 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 many people. And so that's exciting news that you are going to have your podcast up and rolling next year, that everybody will be able to find you. But, you know, more importantly, you know, we appreciate you being here. And outside of that, we're going to get this conversation started. Mr. Jones, take it away, my love.
Yeah, everybody wants to know, can you share a little bit more about your journey that got you here today, and why you're here, sharing your amazing, unshakable, faith? Talk to us a little bit more about that.
Sure, absolutely. How I got to this journey back in mid 2022, I needed to have total knee replacement surgery. And I had to have a series of tests done that every doctor and every specialist that I was under had to sign off on. So I thought it would be easy, but come to find out it was not. I was able to pass every test except for one. I have been in stage 4 kidney failure for going on 6 years now. And at that time, that was a deal breaker for the surgeon, because he said if he'd done the surgery, that it would put me into full dialysis. So he was not comfortable with doing that. And, I completely understood that. I was not upset. So me, my sister-in-law, and my husband came back home. And for some odd reason, looking back on it, I just felt like a sense of relief, because actually I was thinking, okay, well, I didn't want to be cut on anyway. So, so that's fine with me. But I decided that I needed to get back into church. So a few months passed and I went back to church, and I had the apostle, they were asking people to come down for prayer if anyone needed prayer. And I went down for prayer, and the apostle started calling out everything that I had, all of my health conditions. And I was standing there looking at him like just in disbelief, because I was like, who is this man? Because I've never met him. He does not know me. And that's what took my faith to another level, because I knew that it had to be God, because this man knew nothing about me, but he called out every sickness in my body. And when I went to church, I actually was using a cane to walk with because I could hardly walk. Because of my leg, I could hardly move. And so he just started praying over me. And when he got finished praying, and before he stopped, let me go back. Before he stopped praying, I felt this warm sensation go through my body from the top of my head all the way down. And I knew then no one had to tell me that it was not God. I knew that it was, even though I had never felt that feeling before. I knew that was God. So when I walked away, I didn't even think about it. When I got back to my seat, after they dismissed us and we got into the truck, my sister-in-law said, "Sis, where is your cane?" And I said, "Oh my God, I left the cane inside the church." I left the cane in the front of the church because after he had finished praying over me, I walked away. And I walked away without being in any pain. I had been in pain for years. That's how bad, because it was bone on bone. You could actually hear my bones as I was walking. You could hear my bones, like, as they say, uh, that cereal snap, crackle, pop. That's how my bones was, bone on bone. But I walked away without any pain. But the key is my faith, my belief, my trust in God, because man had done all that they could do without putting my life in danger or without me being on dialysis. Because I didn't, who wants to be on dialysis? I seen both of my parents be on dialysis, and I seen them fight for their life. I did not want that. So I was glad that I had that type of surgeon who cared enough to say, nope, I'm not going to do this surgery, because I will not have it rest on my conscience that you're on dialysis because of me. So that is what led me to the journey, that what has brought me to this point in my life where I am now. I'm stronger, I'm better. There was a time I couldn't even walk up and down steps without assistance. Now I can go up and down steps, no problem. I have lost well over 100 pounds. The doctors are just in awe, because they know that it was nothing that they had done, because they had done all that they could do. So I give God the praise. So yeah, this is the new me. And it feels
Oh,
great.
well, that's wonderful. I mean, just to hear what you've overcome is, you know, is short of a miracle, to say, for lack of better terms. And so, I appreciate you sharing that, and sharing how you've gotten here. And I know, one thing that you haven't really dived into yet, and that's what I was going to ask around next, is, you sharing your faith journey that you were just sharing, and how you left your cane at the front of the church, and how you've been able to kind of revamp and find your faith through this journey. How has that, finding your faith and your faith played a role in you overcoming your battle with cancer? Because you're a cancer survivor as well.
Yes, ma'am. I'm also a cancer survivor. Actually, a year after I had a heart attack in 2020 is when I had my heart attack. and I had to have a stent put in the right side of my chest for that. I was diagnosed with cancer in 2021. So it was like just one attack behind the other. For my cancer, that one was, I didn't see that one coming because I had just started the job, and that day that told us that AFLAC would be coming to speak with all of us, and we would have to go and speak with them whether we wanted to or not. She had to sign off on the paper whether you decline the offers or not. And so something just kept telling me that I needed to ask about cancer. And at that time I couldn't put my finger on why. And so the rep, she kept talking and talking and talking. And she said, Christine, she said, would you like to take out any of our policies that we're offering today? And, just automatically I said, I think I better take out the cancer policy. And she had asked me, she said, do you have cancer? And I said, no, ma'am. I said, but I just feel like I need to take this policy out. So she said, okay, so we got everything set up, and it was instant. There was no waiting period or anything. And so about 2 weeks after I got the policy, I had to have my yearly exam. And so I had my exam. Well, the next day, uh, the doctor that I seen, I actually worked at that doctor's office. I was a receptionist, a front desk receptionist, and she DM'd me and said that she needed to see me ASAP. And I knew immediately that something was wrong because she would never DM me like that. And especially it was on a Monday, and Mondays, everyone knows, for doctors' offices are very hectic and busy. So I told my front end supervisor, I said, I need you to go see my doctor. And she said, okay, Justine, she said, just go ahead. She said, I'll do your work while you're gone. So I said, okay. So I went back there, and she closed the door, and she said, so we have a problem. And I said, okay. I said, just give it to me straight, doc. I said, because I know something is wrong. And she said, yes. She said, we found cancer. And at that moment, it was like I couldn't hear anything else she was saying after that, because all I got caught up on was the word cancer. So after she finished talking to me, she told me before I left the room that she would need to send me to another doctor's office for a second opinion. So I said, okay, because I'm the type of person, when it comes to my health, I don't argue with the doctors, because I believe that God put doctors here for a reason. So I'm not the type of person that, just blows it off. So I wasn't going to do that. And plus, cancer runs, unfortunately, both sides of my family. So when I went up to the front, it seemed like that was the longest walk getting back up to the front. And the front end supervisor asked me, she said, Miss Bailey, what's wrong? She said, because you have no color in your face. She said, you are pale. And I just broke down. And so I shared with her. She pulled me in the back room, and I shared with her, and she said, well, you need to go speak with HR to let them know what's going on. And so I did. So they let me go for lunch early so I could reach out to my husband. They tried to get me to go home, but I just refused to go home. I thought if I stayed at work, I would keep my mind off of it. So I went out to the truck, and I called my husband and he said, "What's wrong?" Because I hear it in your voice. And I said, "They found cancer." And I broke down again. And, I love my husband because he's the one that's humble and he's the one that's calm. Uh, he said, "Just calm down and breathe." He said, "Just like God brought you through that heart attack, he will bring us through this. Just stay strong. Whatever you do, stay strong." He said, "Because I've got you and God's got you." So um, I finally went to go see the other doctor that my doctor had sent me to, a specialist. And she had told me that it was out of her scope. So they would have to send me a little bit further to another surgeon that would be able to do the surgery. So got the appointment set up. Looked for those appointments, had a surgery done, and she told me that this surgery would guarantee that the cancer would not come back. So after I went back for checkups, several months of checkups, no cancer. So I am and have been cancer free for several years now. To God be the glory. But that is another thing that just strengthened my faith, because when you're going through stuff like that, and especially when it's medical, your mind just wanders and it goes all over the place. And even being a Christian, even being a faith believer, your mind still goes, because I'm human. So the flesh, there's still those emotions, there's still those feelings, even though everyone was saying, don't worry, pray. But in my mind, in the beginning, I was thinking that's a lot easier said than done, because it's not you that's going through it, it's me that's going through it. But I'll just have to say, but thanks be to God, who is the head of my life, because if it wasn't for God and my husband, I know for certain that I would not have made it through those hard times, because even though I do have family, but 110%, it was God and my husband every time. Every battle that I've been through with all of my health issues, every surgery that I have been through, always 110%. God first and my husband second. And that's why I call them both my two kings, God and my husband.
I love it. And when you share your faith in God and in these things that have happened and the things that you felt, most people won't understand that unless they went through it. And a lot of the times we don't realize how these things impact until you go through it and it's at your front doorstep. And you sharing that, especially from the very beginning when you went into church, all of a sudden you forgot your cane, you felt a whole lot better, and just that there was no other explanation other than that. And that's what drew your faith into learning so much more about your faith and about your religion and things of that sort. And we share this with people all the time, that it takes for you to go through it in order for you to understand it, right, love? And so this is where we continue to share with you guys all, to really, just live life to the fullest and really be able to understand that, be open to things. And a lot of the times, I'll say for myself, there's a lot of things that I didn't believe in at first. Tara would talk about these things and I would rub her off and be like, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about." And then they would actually happen. And then I'd be like, "Oh," and you really can't explain And that's what so happens with our faith and our religion. And even within our business, you really can't see it. You really can't, understand it. You just got to go through it and keep and knowing that it's going to prevail, knowing that these things are going to, be a benefit for you, regardless of the matter. What would you say, baby?
Absolutely. I think it comes down to the simple fact that, like Miss Bailey was sharing, was just that support. And that's kind of, like what we share within our business is, that support, and not that we are likening ourselves to God by any means. Not at all. It's just, everybody has a support system when they're going through their things and when they need that help. And so, it's a beautiful conversation. But, as we're, as Miss Bailey was sharing, about kind of the role that her faith played within overcoming her battle, with cancer. Miss Bailey, I would love to hear for you to, share with us. Oh, she's okay. Well, we'll wait.
I'm bringing it to us. No worries.
No worries. No worries. Oh, yeah. I was like, oh, she has MIA'd on me. But Miss Bailey, while he's bringing us up here and putting us in position here, I'll ask you this question. It's what was the turning point in your life when you realized that you needed to, kind of get back to leaning on God? You talked about that in the beginning, I think the first question we asked, but what was that major turning point? Like, when did you, I know you talked about the illnesses that you were going through in your body, but what was it like, if you'd share that aha moment, kind of like, this is what I need to be doing?
The aha moment for me was when, December 31st, 2022, I had really hit my rock bottom. I was dealing a lot with medical, marriage, family. And I had almost given up. And I remember coming back here in my room and closing the door and just falling down on my knees and talking to God, because I didn't know, I didn't feel like there was anyone else that I could talk to. I had hit a very, very bad spot in my life. And, when we listen, God talks to us. And God had showed me that I had put others before him. And even in the Bible, it says that we are not to put no one or nothing before God. God is always supposed to come first. And I had not been doing that. It was in that moment, because I had been beating myself up, that God told me that it was time for me to forgive myself, because I had not forgiven myself. And people don't realize that in order for you to forgive others, you have to forgive yourself first. Number one, that is very, very important. It was in that moment that I realized for the first time in my life that I was able to look in the mirror and tell myself that I loved myself, that I was somebody, that I was loved, that I was needed, and that I was wanted, regardless of how the enemy was trying to make me feel. Because I had a lot of sadness, I had a lot of hate, envy, jealousy, unforgiveness inside of me that was literally, and I do mean literally, killing me. That's where the heart attack came from. That's where a lot of the stressors in my life was coming from. So that's what brought it all back to me. That night will be forever embedded in my head because God saved my life that night. Nobody knows but me and God how he delivered me and how he brought me up out of that pit that couldn't nobody bring me out of but him, because I was lost. I was lost with nowhere else to go and no one to talk to. So that's how that started, Miss Tara.
Well, thank you, Miss Bailey, for sharing that. That's that pivotal moment that a lot of us have been through in life. Some of us have, some of us have not. Some of us have been to a degree like yours, and some of us have not been to that nth of degree. Um, but we all have a moment in life where we can remember that pivotal change. And when you share that pivotal change, there are, hundreds of, not hundreds of millions of people out there that are, in those same shoes right now. And that is why it's so important for us to have you today and have you share your story so that there are people out there that can relate and understand that your story and that what you went through, and that you give hope to those people that realize that they've got to, maybe turn and be able to reconnect their faith and understand, that some of us, most of us, let's just call a spade, most of us out in this, beautiful world are putting other people first before even, before God, before ourselves. And that's a huge conversation. And it's why we have these conversations, so we can open that up and talk about it. So people understand that, okay, well, this person is going through the same thing, and and understand that there is recourse. And so Mr. Jones, I know that you wanted to ask an amazing question. I will pass the mic over
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah, absolutely. As we talk about, sharing these amazing, conversations and reflections, what inspired you to write, no God, no peace, no God, no peace, and mustard seed. Talk to us about, your two books that you have, and even if you want to break them up into what each one of them, means to you and how they should, relate to other people. Talk to us about that.
Absolutely. The mustard seed faith to unshakable faith, that one basically just goes to show you for faith. Faith is within all of us. But in order for that faith to grow, we have to feed that faith. And by feeding that faith to make it unshakable, we have to meditate, we have to study the word of God, but most of all, we have to pray. Prayer is very, very important, very vital. It's a very vital aspect, very vital, important part of my life daily. And also, you have to get out of your comfort zone, get out of your own head. You have to believe. In order to have faith, you have to believe it, because if you pray and ask God to bless you with things, or if you pray and just ask for things, anything, but if you don't believe in the person that you're praying to, it's like it's falling on deaf ears, because you have to believe in order to receive it. And not only that, you have to see yourself blessed for the blessing to come. See yourself out of the situation, because that's what I did. And I'm a living testimony of that. And I know that it works. For no God, no peace, no God, no peace. That one came about mainly for about different jobs that I had been on, that was absolute hell. that I know that it was Satan that was just trying to destroy me. Not only that, there's some off in that book where I talk about my daughter and how the enemy, what he had done to her and how he tried to take her. My husband, there's a part off in that book also about my husband's battle with sobriety and how he overcame. But the key is knowing God, because I can tell you, if you don't know God for yourself, it is a struggle. Everyone should have a personal relationship with God. And at some degree, everybody's walk is different, but as long as you're trying to get there, that's the important thing, because it doesn't matter how many times you fall, but it's the number of times that you get back up and you refuse to lie down.
Oh man, that right there, that refusal to lie down. Um, there's been, many times through David and I's journey that when you said that, it took me right to that point. In our journey of life, building a business, nothing like what you went through with health, and your family going through with health items, but we all have been through that time when you just refuse to give up, refuse to sit down, refuse to not, continue to push forward. And that refusal is that grit, and so, I appreciate, your share, because again, packed in your share are so many golden nuggets for people to pull out, and just it gives hope, right? And that's one thing of what we do when we go through our walk, is to share that story with others, so it gives them hope to understand that they too will make it. But they do have to figure out their journey, and they do need to lean on, their faith to be able to get there. Right. And that's a big thing that, through your beautiful books that you've written. And by the way, for all those listening, go out to theunshakablefaith.com and you can find those books. We'll talk a little bit more about that here at the end, but
Yeah.
just between,
If I can add on, love.
Yeah, go ahead.
And one of the things that, because I definitely don't want this to get missed, is that, Miss Christine talked about, meditation. She talked about, believing in yourself and believing that it's already done. And whether you are a faithful person, whether you are not, that is what it's going to take. It's for you to already know it's done, for you to already see yourself, envisioning yourself accomplishing whatever you want to accomplish, or healing whatever you want to be healed, because your words carry weight internally and externally. You are casting spells upon yourself. Once again, whether you believe in faith or not, there's actually a study that they just came out with water, that talking negative to water and then talking positive to water, it impacts, and there's a huge difference between the two. And so that is where we share with you guys to have this faith that you already are already going to have it done, and don't worry about getting, what happens a lot of times is we get punched in the stomach, we get punched in the face, we fall down, and then this is where the family generation, this is where the learned lessons, this is where the trauma and drama pops up, to where we sell ourselves and say, see, that's what I was looking for. I knew I couldn't make it. And we find and we hold on to that excuse. And a lot of the times our excuses are tearing away from our goals and dreams and what we want to do, because of our own mindset. And, you're not going to, believe in something, or it's not going to happen if you don't believe in it. So you have to fully believe in it, just as we do in God or whatever religion you are. They're not showing up in your bedroom or in your closet or in your, at church. You just believe in them because they're there, and things start happening. Just imagine if you had that faith, and belief all the time, not just when you need things, but all the time. And that's why we share with you guys, be grateful for what you have, because being grateful is the best reception for receiving more things, because you're living in abundance and attraction and vibration and law of, a law of just attraction that we all have heard of. And I say this because if you had said vibration, energy, faith, frequency to me 5 years ago, I would have looked at you and turned around and walked the other way. They're like, what are you talking about? And, as something that happened, with Miss Bailey, she experienced something and it changed her life, as it will with us all. But as long as you have an open mind, you have an open heart, right? You have an open mouth and you have an open hand and willing to, experience those things and willing to take on those things, the sky's the limit. Back to you, love.
Absolutely. And thank you for jumping in there and sharing that portion about the meditation, and, studying the word, of prayer, and doing those daily things, that connectivity. And really it's connecting with yourself too. That's why you talk about that meditation portion. But, as we have this conversation here with Miss Beautiful Bailey, how I got another question for you. As we take the journey through your life here and kind of writing, you've shared with us how your books are reflect through your personal struggles and the triumphs and that. But what's your one hope for readers? When they do read your books, what do you want them to gain out of reading your books?
I want them to be able to gain a sense of hope, inspiration, and life, and for them to know that each and every one of us has a purpose. God has a purpose and a plan for each and every one of our lives. And everyone, I don't care what you have done, what you have been through, what you are going through, everyone is important. God loves each and every one of us. And failure is not an option. Don't be defeated. Don't allow the enemy to keep defeating you. Faith over fear. That's what I say all the time. Faith over fear. And I want people to know that, people do not judge, or people should not judge. And that's one of the main reasons why I want to do my podcast, because I want to be able to talk to people. I want them to know, that this is coming from a person that is not looking to judge you, but from a person that wants to give you a hand up, not a hand out, but a hand up, because that's what the world needs. It's more people to give hand up instead of hands out, that it comes from a place of love. I have a friend that a lot of us probably know, and she's more like a sister to me, Margaret Martinez. And I hope she does not mind me calling her name out, but she has been there for me. She has given me a hand up in more ways than people know. And it's not always about money. It's not always monetary. People can bless you in other ways. Sometimes it's just a word. Sometimes it's just prayer. Sometimes it's just a hug. It's just a handshake. That's what friendship, that's what the world needs more of. And I advocate for people that are hurting and that are in pain because that was once the life that I lived, but you don't have to live like that anymore. You can be free. You can have love, joy, peace, and happiness because it's within you. It's already in you. You just have to stop letting the enemy defeat you. Faith over fear is what I say. Faith over fear.
Yes, ma'am. So true. And in another ways that we say it is just press the button, right? And you don't have any of these buttons that you're going to press. Whether it's working out, whether it's going to a church, whether it's opening up a book, reading a book. Definitely, the Unshakable Faith with Miss Christine Bailey getting her book. Is definitely just one step away. You saying yes, right? And telling the world and then going and figuring it out. And so, with you being with us, Miss Christine, for the last, I think, 4 months now, you joined us for our Secret Santa Sauce Masterclass. You then saw the value in what we provided, and then you joined us, as a VIP member with our Pivot membership. If you could, share with the people, your experience that you've had with us thus far, especially taking advantage of a lot of our holiday sales that we were being able to put out there for the people, and we talk about collaboration and come together. What has your experience been with the Hello LLC?
Oh, wow. Well, it has been very exciting, I must say, because uh, I have been hurt through some different things going through my journey and my book writing process. But I can say that with you guys that you very well deliver what you say that you are going to uh, deliver. I've enjoyed working with uh, you and David, you and Miss Tara, um, very much. I did not see my journey going too far because I had got very frustrated. And there was a point that I had thought about walking away from it all. But once again, when you have people like Margaret Martinez, who's your backup, you know, she always puts things into a better perspective for me. Uh, so working with you guys has been awesome because I have seen things that I haven't seen before, and now I have this beautiful apparel line, and I just want to oh my gosh, I wish I could just give Miss Tara a big hug. Miss Tara, this is an air hug coming at you because when I tell you that you done the thing on them t-shirts, girl, you done the thing on them t-shirts. Oh my God. I have gotten so much feedback on those t-shirts. And I just appreciate you so much because, I didn't even, at first I was trying to think, oh God, am I going to have to get on Canva and try to figure out what in the world do I want to put on the t-shirts? And then Miss Tara is like, oh, well, I got this right here and it has the cost. And the Holy Spirit was like, yep, that's it. That's it right there. And I was like, that's my girl. That's my girl. So yeah, I love what you guys have done and what you are doing. And I just pray that you guys continue to do what you're doing, not only for me, but for others that are willing and that have an open mind. And I just ask for continued favor and blessings upon you, Mr. David, and you, Miss Tara, because you certainly deserve it. Thank you.
Well, thank you. You know, that means a lot. That's our love language, for sure. Especially as we continue to share with people how they can monetize and utilize their time more effectively. And especially, you know, as Tara shared earlier, when you walk in the house, you put your shoes down, you put your purse down, you put your wallet down, you put your book bag down. And then, you know, when it's time to get things together, you got to go scramble everywhere. And what we do is put it in a nice uniqueness way, and then are able to utilize that in a more effective way, and then add on additional things into your business. And especially, you know, with you now having your apparel line, you being able to showcase your books more, your social media is showing up like no other right now, and so much more engagement on all of your platforms, especially being part of our Pivot membership. This is why we share with people, right? You are good at writing, you are good and great at being an author, but your expertise is not at the transaction piece and marketing piece. And that's where we come together as a team to help you accelerate and to help you understand these new technologies. And the great thing about it is, you can probably answer this. You didn't need to know how or the gadgets and gadgets and what buttons to push. All you had to do was share with us an idea, and we made it work for you at the end of the day.
Exactly.
So, you know, one last question for you, especially as this being, you know, an immersive, true virtual reality experience. Can you share with the people how easy it is for you to get into our Hello Plaza metaverse, and why people should probably be implementing this and utilizing this to replace their social audio rooms and their Zoom rooms? As you a Pivot member, we don't meet on Zoom, we meet in the metaverse.
Actually, it is very easy to get into the Hello Plaza. Um, as long as you don't run into walls and doors like I do. But other than that, it's very easy. It's very people friendly. That's what I like about it. Even for wiser aged people like me, you know. So yeah, I enjoy it. You know, I'm actually showing my sister-in-law how to get into it now. I showed her a little sample of it a couple weeks ago, and so it just kind of blew her mind. But yeah, I do love it. I'm not I've never cared too much about Zoom. Um, so yeah, I will take this over Zoom any old day. But yeah, I love it. Easy peasy breezy.
I
I
love it.
love
Easy breezy. That's my type of language right there. You know, I have to share, you know, it's just been such a joy to be able to really help you make a pivot, you know, Miss Bailey. I know you have shared that you have went through some trials and tribulations on your, you know, business side, you know, not so much on the, yes, you've had your trials and tribulations on life side, but also business side. And we're just happy to be able to show up and fulfill that need that you have to answer the call when, you know, you were directed to towards us, and to be able to show up and be people of integrity. And when we say we're going to do something, we do it and then some, because that's how we would want to be treated. And that's why, you know, we just are so thankful for you and the community that you have. We're thankful for you actually discovering us through Miss Margaret. So we hats off to Miss Margaret and big love to her, you know, for her community, because that's how you discovered us. And so, you know, just a lot of gratitude and for you to, you know, essentially kind of hand over the keys to your business and say, help. Where do I go and what do I kind of do? And these are the ideas I want to. How do I get there? What's the journey? What's the map and the guide? And so we appreciate that, and we thank you for allowing us to help with that. And so, as we wrap up our amazing conversation here today, we talked about, first of all, we have to let everybody know that Ms. Bailey has a 15% off sale right now through January 6th for her apparel line. So that is, as you know, hot off the press. There will be more stuff coming down the pipeline, but right now what is out there is pretty dope, if I don't say so myself, just because I made it. I'll toot my own little horn there, toot toot. But go out there, guys, because not only are you supporting, Miss Bailey, but it's not even that, you're supporting yourself. Because that way you're walking around and understanding that you are walking faith, whether you know it or not. That's the beautiful thing about this world. So go out there, check that out. Miss Bailey, please share with our audience how outside of the unshakable faith.com website, any other ways or any other things that you want people to be checking out or connecting you with. Please share that, if you would, please.
Well, I am actually working on my third book, so be on the lookout for that, because that will be coming out here in the near future, the very, very near future. And the title of this one is Guard Your Heart. So this one is a big game changer right here. So I'm looking forward to it. And I just ask for people to just continue pouring in with your love and support, because it's very much appreciated, and like I said, you can't put a monetary value on love and support, especially when it comes from the heart.
Yeah. And do you want to tell them about your signed autograph copy books by chance?
So for the signed autograph copy books, what I'm going to be doing, so if you want a signed autograph copy, those books will be for No God, No Peace, No God, No Peace. That one is going to be $23 for the signed autograph copy. If not, you can just get the regular copy and it will be the regular price for it. It is now going to be $18 for that one. For the signed copy of Mustard Seed Faith to Unshakable Faith, that one is $20. And then if you do not want a signed copy of that one the regular price of $11.95.
Boom. Definitely, you guys make sure you go to the amazing website of Unshakable Faith and get that actual book or get the signed copy. And either way, go to theunshakablefaith.com and get your copy. You guys can definitely go to all of her social media platforms, and you'll see her link and her bio as well, that you can go and hit that link, press the button. You can even get an actual chapter that you can read for free to dig into a little bit more. And I promise you, before you get halfway through it, you're going to go buy the button, you're going to go buy the book, whether it's the autograph copy, which you never know, right? Times are changing, things are changing. And as fast as I think we're going with Miss Bailey, you never know. She's going to be at the top of New York seller list by the time we get finished with her. So you guys definitely, take advantage of these amazing opportunities to go and read and put these things to work. Because as you have seen with Miss Bailey, she can do it. Anybody can do it with just belief and faith and just keep showing up. And that's one thing with Miss Bailey. I don't care what it is. She's going to keep showing up, period. Just keep showing up, and keep doing it. And, that's why we encourage you guys, just keep showing up and being consistent and committed. And as they say, you hang around the barbershop long enough, you're going to get a haircut, right, for free. I got too many free haircuts because I ain't got no hair right now. But you get the drift, right? Keep showing up. But with that being said, Love, you got anything you want to share before we get out of here?
I just appreciate everybody. Most importantly, I appreciate Miss Bailey today. Thank you, Miss Bailey, for coming and being on our stage, sharing your story, helping somebody out through, your share. And thank you for not quitting and having the grit and being able to show up and continuing to move forward and, just being an awesome and amazing person that you are. The light that you bring into rooms, into spaces when you show up is impeccable and amazing. And so thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for each and every one who's watching us. We appreciate you guys showing up and your support. We appreciate you liking that like button, following us for other amazing stories like this, and sharing our platform with others in your community. So with that said, we greatly appreciate everybody. Mr. Jones, you know the drill unless you got something else you want to add.
Nope. Love,
Kindness,
integrity,
but most importantly,
commitment, and consistency.
And until next time, people.
Toodles!
Yeah, as Miss Bailey and we say. Thanks for being here, guys.